Marianne, take off.
Thank you. Okay, I'm the Lone Ranger here. Okay, so I'm going to focus on the two areas that Chris asked us to look at. One was the outcome, and the second was the screening for domestic violence piece to the prototype that our group up here is developing. So just as kind of a quick recap, the prototype up here is a finished product, kind of an end-to-end online system that creates the ability for families to access a system online and reach resolution in as little kind of contact with human people as possible, potentially actually bypassing many of the meetings that are required in a traditional process. So the online system, the first part again is the education and the triage, and education is ongoing through this process. I told you a little bit about that before. So when a person accesses this system, they can go through the entire system by completing forms online. The documents that are required for separation will be auto-populated and actually can be printed in the family's home, and the couple can decide to take those to be witnessed and signed or sign them on their own, with a couple of options thrown in here for offshoot for services if they feel like they require them. So the three kind of main areas are accounting, mediator or an early neutral evaluation of a process, and also some availability of independent legal advice or opinion. So those are the three areas where during the process a couple could say, hey, you know, we need some assistance with, most couples will require some assistance to complete some paperwork with an accountant. And that accountant can actually be a little bit of a vetting process to look at the financial disclosure and ensure that there is, kind of it meets the smell test of the accountant, and if there's more information required that the accountant can sort of look at what's required, and there could be an added fee added to a client's package fee for non-disclosure of certain items. If they forgot to add something in there, they can be charged a fee to kind of fill in those blanks that were identified by the accountant. The second process is contact with a mediator. Now, as a mediator, I kind of thought myself we were essential, but apparently we're not. And there's a thought that, you know, if couples are in agreement, or there's, you know, the prototype includes this brilliant software that's being developed to identify, you know, where, say I put in I want X, Y, Z, and J, and my husband puts in I want X, Y, Z, and X, or Z, or whatever other initial that I missed there. The system can auto-sort what areas are in disagreement, and then those areas can be kind of kicked out for evaluation or mediation or room for negotiation that are identified. So it's really where there's absolute agreement amongst parents, and this goes for the parenting plan as well as the financial memorandum. The thought is, if there's agreement on the basic issues, the couple can go forward, populate the documents, print them, and have that piece of the puzzle solved for their separation. The independent legal advice is something that is also available within this process. So if a couple felt they needed some legal opinion on a matter, that seems to be the prototype's design, is more towards a legal opinion and less towards a legal aid, an independent legal certificate attached to the document. So that's another kind of offshoot. The kind of an add-on that we talked about is the parenting plan. A lot of times with in parenting, there's a lot of difficulties with the movement from the being married as a couple and being unhappily married to the happy co-parenting resolutions that come after a really well-crafted parenting plan by a mediator. So if that isn't evident, or that's not available at the time, we thought of that, adding that on as a kind of a follow-up process to help couples or give them an opportunity. Hey, this is what we can also do to help you stick to what the plan that you agreed to, and help co-parenting communication after mediation, kind of a post-process follow-up. And also, we loved the app idea of where's the volunteer group at the back there? The app idea that was really admired by our table up here, and thinks that, you know, that'd be a wonderful incorporation to the ongoing follow-up with this particular prototype. Just quickly, I'll just touch on the domestic violence piece It's there, it's part of the screening process, so I will let other groups kind of fill in the blanks on that because I know there's a great focus on safety of our clients. Thank you.